Thưa quý khán giả của VietNEWS USA, sống ở Hoa Kỳ, nơi được mệnh danh là thiên đàng trên đất, với sự kết hợp của các giống dân cùng chung sống và chia sẻ các ngôn ngữ, văn hóa, đem lại một sự kết hợp hùng mạnh khó có đất nước nào có thể sánh bằng. Tìm hiểu thêm về các cộng đồng bạn qua những con người thật, việc thật, cũng sẽ giúp chúng ta biết thêm được nhiều cái hay, cái quý đáng học hỏi. Chương trình song ngữ, cuộc sống quanh ta, với các khách mời là những doanh nhân, nghệ sĩ, thương gia, chính trị gia, sẽ đem đến cho chúng ta nhiều bất ngờ thú vị. Chương trình được sử dụng với hai ngôn ngữ tiếng Anh và tiếng Việt, và với sự điều phối thật linh động lưu loát của cô hướng dẫn chương trình xinh đẹp và tài giỏi của tiểu bang Arizona, Tiffany Mộng Tuyệt, sẽ giúp các bạn trẻ thêm sự gần gũi với cộng đồng Việt Nam và cũng như những người khán giả của VietNEWS USA biết thêm được nhiều thông tin cuộc sống xung quanh ta. Thấm thoát, thế là đã 2 năm hành trình của VietNEWS USA phục vụ khán giả thân yêu của mình. Một chặng đường 2 năm thật là nhiều cam go nhưng tràn đầy kỷ niệm. Nhờ sự yêu thương của khán giả và những fan ủng hộ mà VietNEWS USA phát triển đến ngày hôm nay. Nhân dịp kỷ niệm chặng đường 2 năm, VietNEWS USA cảm ơn sự hoạt động hết mình từ những buổi ban đầu của các anh chị em sứ ngôn viên như Mộng Trinh, Thanh Tâm, Jimmy Hoàng, Laco, những kỹ thuật viên như Quang Phan, Christian Lê và các hướng dẫn viên của các chương trình talk show và chương trình như Phương Bi của khu vườn của những con ong, Lê Lệ của Tài Chánh Arizona, Long Lê của Địa ốc Arizona, Anh Paris của The Paris Show, Tiffany Mộng Tuyền của Song ngữ cuộc sống quanh ta, Huyền Ngọc với Pháp luật và đời sống và nhiều cộng tác viên trong các chương trình khác. Chương trình kỷ niệm chặng đường 2 năm còn có sự hiện diện của các anh chị em ca nghệ sĩ đang được yêu mến như nữ ca sĩ Phương Thanh, nam ca sĩ Quách Thành Danh, nữ ca sĩ Khả Tú, nam ca sĩ Hoàng Phong, nam ca sĩ trẻ Dodo và nhiều ca sĩ khách mời đặc biệt khác. Chương trình ca nhạc dạ tiệc Khi giấc mơ về sẽ được tổ chức vào thứ Bảy ngày 30 tháng 7 năm 2022 tại Indo-America 2809 West Maryland Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona 85017. Mở cửa đón khách từ 6 giờ, chương trình bắt đầu từ 7 đến 11 giờ tối, dạ tiệc phục vụ lúc 8 giờ. Vé vào cửa, vé VIP 1.000 trên một bàn 10 người bao gồm 5 món ăn và 10 chai bia. Vé đồng hạng 750 trên một bàn 10 người bao gồm 5 món ăn. Mua tại cửa vui lòng thêm 10 Mỹ Kim. Mọi chi tiết về chương trình vui lòng gọi 602 481 2647 602 481 2647. VietNEWS USA trân trọng kính mời. Trong phút chào đón quý khán giả đến với chương trình của VietNEWS USA, một chương trình thiết thực cho mọi gia đình. Cảm ơn quý khán giả đã luôn ủng hộ các chương trình của VietNEWS USA và đặc biệt là chương trình song ngữ cuộc sống quanh ta. Chương trình nằm nối kết các thế hệ với nhau bằng một chương trình song ngữ. Ngoài ra, chương trình còn tạo điều kiện để chúng ta cùng tìm hiểu về những cộng đồng bạn, những văn hóa, phong tục, tập quán, cùng những thành công, những gương tốt để chúng ta cùng thêm sự hiểu biết và cùng hòa nhập trong cuộc sống tại Hợp Trung Quốc Hoa Kỳ.
Well, hey everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the show. My name is Tiffany Nguyen. I'm the host, producer David, and you are watching VietNEWS TV. We're extremely happy that you are here tonight. We have a very young and successful lady who will be sharing a lot of her success stories. Her name is Desiree Nguyen. The Vietnamese name is Ngọc Hà. So without further ado, Desiree, say a few words to our audiences watching you today.
Hi, my name is Desiree Nguyen. I graduated from Mary Goldwater High School. I'll be going to the University of Arizona for this upcoming fall semester. And I'm very proud to mention that I am a Flinn Scholar, and what that pretty much is, it's a very prestigious scholarship in Arizona that rewards a fully funded room and board and full tuition to 20 scholars out of 1,000 applicants. So I'm very proud to say that I am one of the 20 scholars that are selected and chosen to continue my education in Arizona and hopefully to make a difference for those in Arizona as well.
Well, that's a headline today, is that prestigious award. And we'll get into that because I do want you to share experience of things that you actually had to prepare for work for as well as the application process. Kính thưa quý vị, thì hôm nay chúng ta có cô bé tên là Ngọc Hà đang ở trong phòng thu của chúng ta để chia sẻ kinh nghiệm về việc học vấn của cô qua trường trung học. Cô vừa mới ra trường hồi tháng 5 và cô sẽ vào Đại học USA vào mùa thu năm nay. Ngoài những cái thành tích của cô thì cô còn đã đoạt được cái giải học bổng là Flinn Scholarship Award. Đây là một trong những cái giải thưởng mà rất là danh giá mà chúng ta nên tìm hiểu để con em của quý vị, nếu có những em đang đi học và có đủ điều kiện để nộp đơn thì chúng tôi cũng khuyến khích là quý vị sẽ nộp đơn. So Desiree, must have to say I rarely see high school students with a 4-page resume profile like you do here. You certainly have a lot of activities that you had to complete, probably for yourself as well as the program and your aspirations in life. So congratulations on achieving so many things already, even before stepping into college. So let's go through it one by one. I am very impressed with your weighted GPA of 4.8. Many years ago when I went to school, my GPA was up there, but wow, looking at 4.8, I feel a little unaccomplished. Điểm GPA 4.83, kính thưa quý vị. Thường mà mình thấy con cháu mình điểm GPA 4 là mình mừng lắm rồi, nhưng mà lần này là cô bé lại được 4.8. So tell us, what kind of program studies you had to go through to get to this kind of GPA?
Yeah, so at my school, since we are in the Deer Valley Unified School District, that's the only school that offers the IB program, which is the International Baccalaureate program. And it's a very rigorous and prestigious and academic program that allows students to choose from a multitude of different classes that are very high achieving and also very hard, and that prepares for college as well. There's one class that I remember that I did struggle in. It was called Theory of Knowledge, and it's not like many high school classes. It's very out there. It's like a philosophy class that makes you learn different philosophies that then you can apply to different events in real life, like different real life events. So in that class, we had mostly discussions about the news that's going on and what do we think about that and how to analyze from different perspectives. So going into that class, it was kind of hard because I'm very used to like hardcore studying, like textbooks and all of that, and not used to very open-minded discussions like that.
Yeah, bookworm, but then in that class, you had to open, you had to discuss, you have to speak up and share your point of view. So absolutely for bookworms, I was one, so I know how we could behave. It's not common territory, but congratulations on passing that. And that was such classes here allow you to have this kind of GPA that you can obtain, correct?
Yes.
And then you said that you went to Barry Goldwater High School. Is that the only high school that offers this kind of program? Oh wow, okay. Tức là trường Barry Goldwater High School trung học là cái trường duy nhất mà có những cái chương trình mà Desiree đã theo học để mà được cái số điểm cũng như là một cái kinh nghiệm mà học vấn khá là theo một từ là rất là dư đủ luôn đó quý vị. So going to Barry Goldwater High School, you actually have to be within the district, right? And then if not, you might apply for it, right. but that's going to be hard. And how many students were in your class?
We used to start with a very big group of students before COVID happened. We were around like 50 students in our IB cohort. So pretty much a cohort is pretty much all these students are grouped together and move through the classes for the entire 4 years. But because of COVID, many students started dropping out. So 50 went to 40, went to 30, and then finally there's only 13 kids in our IB cohort, which is one of the lowest class populations in Barry Goldwater. But again, that was mostly because of COVID. But I think because of that small cohort we had, we all formed this very close friendship with each other, to start persevere in this hard curriculum, and also being able to form a really close relationships with our teachers at Barry Goldwater too.
And that's wonderful. You want to have these experiences as well, right? So I understand that your class rank was 1 out of 397. That means you were the top student in your class. Cô là học sinh mà đứng hạng nhất ở trong lớp 397 học sinh, kính thưa quý vị. Was it a surprise? Was it a goal that you wanted to, or was it just something that you worked real hard and you also happened to, be first place?
Yeah, so I was very proud. I was very surprised to see that I was top one, like Victoria. But one of the main things is that I mainly was working on my education to again have high grades, but also just really understand the curriculum that was offered to me. It was a very unique set of curriculum as well. So even though like having being top one in my class, that was a very welcome surprise. It wasn't like my end goal to say. I was supposed to try to enjoy my learning experience and also to work as best as I can to my fullest potential.
Okay, I love that. I mean, you didn't aim to be the first student, but through hard work and so on, you did become first in class. So congratulations on that. Have you always known that you wanted to study really hard? Was there a trigger point in your life, or were you always just very studious and
Yeah. I think when I first came into my high school, I was very nervous. I was a freshman and I was placed in the class only for junior students. It was out to grade 4 and I was one of the 3 freshmen that were in that class. So from there, I knew that I had to start working hard to match myself to the level of these juniors. But because of that pressure I felt like my grades were slipping because of that pressure, and I didn't have a positive outlet to kind of relieve that stress and take that pressure off me. So what I found was best is to have pretty much a balanced life with schools and academics, and paired out with extracurriculars I really enjoy. So some of the extracurriculars I really enjoyed and started continuing on to my 4 years and wanted to expand forwards was, again, my Interact Club, which is pretty much a volunteer service club. And through that club, I found many great friendships, and also a great way to kind of relieve that stress.
Mm-hmm. So certainly, kính thưa quý vị, qua cái việc học hành thì cô vẫn không quên là mình phải có những cái hoạt động song song để mà mình bớt căng thẳng đi trong cái việc học hành. Thì nếu mà nhìn về cái danh sách cho 4 trang này thì có rất là nhiều những cái hoạt động cô đã tham gia khi mà cô đi học trường trung học. Chúng ta sẽ từ từ đi vào các chi tiết đó. Nhưng mà điều này cho ta thấy là con em của chúng ta có thể học điểm giỏi và vẫn có thể có những cái hoạt động cần thiết ngoài cái việc học để cho cái mình gọi là trải nghiệm đó, kính thưa quý vị, qua thời kỳ trung học nó được rất là trọn vẹn. So Desiree, I mean, there's a lot of activities. How did you manage your schedule to squeeze in so many activities?
Yeah, I know there were some nights where I didn't sleep at all, but again, it all comes just to being able to balance, and also being really organized with your schedule and calendar. Personally for me, I use a Google Calendar to kind of schedule all my extracurriculars and all my deadlines for assignments. And it's also really important to also just have those relationships with your classmates, that you guys are able to help with each other through deadlines, or we're studying for really important exams. So it really comes to being able to weigh out all your extracurriculars and being able to kind of have a nice positive schedule to go about that, but also having some time for yourself as well. Because I know if I were just doing these activities, doing academic just straight 24 hours a day, I would become really stressed out and burnt out, maybe where I'm at right now. So again, it's just really important to have a couple hours or even a couple minutes to yourself to practice mindfulness and be able to just, again, relieve that stress and just kind of start over from fresh and have a clear and empty mind, or have a relaxed mind too.
Perfect. Thì cô cũng chia sẻ là để mà quản lý được một cái chương trình rất là đầy như thế này thì cô đã dùng Google để mà make sure là cái lịch trình của mình là mình phải biết cái lịch trình mình làm gì và gì. Nhưng mà trong ngày thì cô cũng dành vài tiếng để cho thư giãn tinh thần, không phải lúc nào cũng cắm cúi học mà thôi. So realistically speaking here, how many hours a day do you sleep during this time? And we're kind of the breakdown, because let's be realistic here. In order to get this Flinn scholarship, amongst many other achievements, it requires sacrifices. But let's hear from you on what those sacrifices are.
Yeah, I know I pulled up a couple of all-nighters where I was staying up till 2 a.m. just studying for my exams because I focused too much on my extracurriculars. And again, from that experience, I learned from okay, I can't stay up all night until 3 a.m. working on my exams or studying because of the time I sacrificed for extracurriculars. So again, it was really important to be able to kind of balance that. So for example, from my school starts at 7:30 a.m. and ends at 2:17 p.m. So again, that's just straight academics where I didn't really focus on extracurriculars. I just focused on being able to learn and digest the material as best as I can. And then usually from 2:17 to 3:30 is when I usually have club meetings, and club meetings were every day. So that was where I either led a club meeting or participated in one. So that was pretty much where I was able to focus on my extracurriculars. And then after 3:30 p.m., I usually had 2 hours where I kind of eat lunch, just relax, take a shower, be able to kind of de-stress for myself. And then from that point forward unto dinner times where I would start studying, or if I didn't really want to start studying, if I didn't have any concept studying or review, was just to talk to my friends and be able to, again, be able to nurture those friendships. So in the long run, I'll be able to kind of vent to them about what's going on, or we can study together about the subjects that we have together.
Okay, so it's still very fulfilling schedule, packed with actions and so on. And then of course it brings rewards here. So we did briefly talk about the Flinn scholarship selection process. You had to start with, you started with 1,100 applicants. Từ 1.100 các em đã apply, kính thưa quý vị, mà chọn xuống 80, rồi từ 80 còn lại là 39 và em đã được you were selected. So what was the whole process look like?
Yeah, so usually in the beginning of senior year, which is around like August or September, depending on which school district you're from in Arizona, you get a letter to see if you're eligible to apply to this one scholarship, and that's usually dedicated or sent to the 1% of students in your class.
Wow.
So it's usually the average Flinn scholar is in the top 1 to 2% of your class. So it's very high academic expectations right there.
That's right.
And then there's an application process that you have to go through where you have to submit like an actual application due to our website, and that applications due in, I think it's due in October and November, around those dates. And pretty much application consists of recommendation letters that you need from two of your teachers that you have a close relationship with, a full list of the 10 extracurriculars that you did that are the most meaningful to you and the most impactful to you as well. And then it consists of a bunch of essay questions. So I think there's 3 major essay questions that were, I think, around 300 words long. So yeah, it's a very big process right there. There was shorter essay questions as well. So pretty much the short essay questions were usually around like 5 to 10 words. So they weren't that long, but they were one of those questions that you had to be thoughtful but also concise as well. And the longer essay questions, they were more targeted towards what your journey was and what you want to contribute to Arizona when you are in college, and also what your personal story is as well, like what makes you more unique to than out of the 1,000 applicants that we're applying to.
Okay, wonderful. Và cái quá trình mà đi bước qua để mà được vào dự thi cái học bổng này thôi, quý vị cũng là rất là cam go. Phải là top 1% ở trong cái lớp học, có nghĩa là nếu mà trong lớp có 100 người á thì quý vị phải là người đứng đầu mới được là một trong những cái requirement, những cái yêu cầu cần thiết. Và sau đó thì là hàng loạt những cái việc mà người ta phải xem những cái hoạt động mình đã qua, cũng như là mình phải viết luận văn vân vân, rất là nhiều những cái quá trình phải trải qua trước khi mà được lựa chọn. And then what is the total price of the scholarship?
The total price comes out to $130,000.
$130,000.
And that's for full tuition, room and board, and also they also offer you a trip abroad too for 1 semester, and they pay for all expenses for that study abroad.
Wow, tức là người được giải này sẽ được $130,000 trị giá, đó là giải thưởng để mà giúp trả những cái học phí, cũng như là được một kỳ học đi học ở nước ngoài. Và cái việc đó thì cũng được trả luôn. So congratulations. Have you thought of where you're going to be studying abroad?
I did think of Vietnam, obviously, because I had not been to Vietnam. I was born here in the United States, and I have never visited my country before. So I would really love to be able to take that opportunity to study abroad and immerse myself back into the Vietnamese culture and be able to study neuroscience and psychology in Vietnam as well, in medicine.
Tức là cô cũng có dự định là sẽ hướng đi về Việt Nam để mà học một cái học kỳ đó, kính thưa quý vị. Bởi vì chính bản thân cô thì đã chưa có bao giờ đến Việt Nam, cô đã sinh ra và lớn lên tại đây. So let's talk a little bit about your family. Tell us a little bit about them. How many siblings? You know, do they get to see you much? Do they get to hang out with you much?
Yeah.
What do you guys do at home for fun?
So there's my mom and my dad, and my mom works from home, but my brother is 9 years old, so I usually help him a lot with like schoolwork and just just playing with him in general, babysitting him. And my mom is unable to because she's working at home. So pretty much what we do for fun, my brother has a bunch of pets. He has an aquarium full of like his favorite fish, snails, like shrimp, and everything. I don't really go close to that because I'm kind of scared.
Yeah. Wow.
But he just kind of talks to me about his fish. And there's another thing we do is also we have 2 hamsters at home, and we put litter hamsters obviously, and we talk a lot about what goes into the care of a hamster, because that's actually pretty much not a lot of people know that there's a lot of extensive care into that. So my brother and I, we usually talk about his pets, and also him show me off his pets as well too.
Tóc bạc là một vấn đề của đàn ông và phụ nữ ở độ tuổi trung niên. Họ phải nhuộm tóc thông thường 2 lần một tháng, Hầu hết thuốc nhuộm đều không phù hợp với tóc. Chúng chứa các hóa chất và có hại gây rụng tóc, khô da đầu, ngứa ngáy khó chịu. Nó cũng khiến chân tóc dễ bị tổn thương, từ đó ảnh hưởng đến sức khỏe của bạn. Đến với Quay giúp quý vị làm chọn tóc bạc. Quay hoàn toàn tự nhiên và không gây bất kỳ tác dụng phụ nào trên tóc và cơ thể bạn. Serum dưỡng tóc này biến đổi tóc bạc thành màu tự nhiên, giúp bạn làm mới mái tóc của mình. Quay điều trị các vấn đề về rụng tóc và thúc đẩy sự phát triển của tóc, ngăn ngừa hư tổn tóc, nuôi dưỡng tóc và trị cào. Quay làm cho tóc bóng mượt và sang trọng hơn. Quay không có tác dụng phụ và hoàn toàn hữu cơ, giúp dưỡng ẩm cho tóc. Quay trị tóc bạc và chăm sóc tóc toàn diện. Quay trị tóc bạc sớm, phục hồi sắc tố melanin, giúp tóc đen hơn, kích thích mọc tóc, ngăn ngừa rụng tóc, trị cào, nuôi dưỡng, giữ ẩm tóc, làm dịu da đầu, tăng cường tóc dày và khỏe mạnh. Hãy gọi ngay 916 666 0218, 916 666 0218. Quay trị tóc bạc sớm.
Perfect. So that's your guys' pastime activity?
Yeah, obviously there's like we play games with each other too, but because there's such like a big age difference there, so I can't like take him out and like watch a movie or whatever like that. But we may do it at home. I really do appreciate my little brothers just being able to just talk to him, even though he's like 9 years old. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna miss him when I go off into college too.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Thì gia đình Desiree, Ngọc Hà thì có bố mẹ tự nhiên và một đứa em trai là 9 tuổi, thì cô cũng có gắn dành rất là nhiều thời gian cho em của mình, cùng chơi với những con thú của em, bao gồm có những con động vật thì nó cũng hơi nhìn thì cũng hơi sợ, ví dụ như là con rắn là snake. Kính thưa quý vị, so then the studiousness and the desire to be very successful, do you pick up from your mom, your dad, or both, or none?
No, definitely both of them, because they came. They were at Vietnam and then they immigrated to the United States at a very young age, around kind of like not like my age, but around like mid-teen age. And from there, they had to work through many obstacles and many barriers in order to become where they're at right now, be able to give me the opportunities that I'm able to utilize right now to, again, be able to fulfill my potential. So I'm very thankful to my parents for giving me all the resources and the support and all the opportunities I needed in order to, again, give back to my community, become top one, being able to excel in my academics because of the opportunities they gave me. And again, they instilled a very hard work ethic into me that I shouldn't expect something to be given to me, right? Because life doesn't work like that. So they tell me to work as hard as you can to get these opportunities that you want. And even if it may not work out, just look for different routes and look for other possibilities to go about. And so again, just be adaptive is what they would really stress towards me.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thì tóm lại bố mẹ của cô bé cũng đã có ảnh hưởng rất là nhiều từ những cái việc mà lớn lên mình phải làm việc, mình phải học, mà nói tóm lại là những cái việc mà mình muốn thì mình phải work hard để mà đạt được, quý vị. Thì bố mẹ đã tạo cái môi trường, và ngoài ra là chỉ dẫn cho em những cái phương cách để mà có được những cái sự thành công trong cuộc sống. Thì that's wonderful that your parents provided you that kind of platform. I'm going to quickly jump through some of the fun other items here so we can briefly discuss it. You were Outstanding Student of the Year 2020 to 2021 and 21 to 22, là học sinh xuất sắc của cả hai năm học 2021 và 22. So why were you nominated for this?
I was nominated by Interact Club Advisor. Pretty much, again, I briefly mentioned what Interact Club is, but it pretty much is a volunteer service club. So I led two major projects on our campus. One project was called the Youth Band Project, where we worked with the Youth Band organization, which worked towards making these bracelets and being able to sell these bracelets in order to use that money to sponsor a student in Guatemala or in South Africa to fulfill their middle school education, because back in those countries, middle school isn't as free as in the United States.
Yes.
You require tuition, and sometimes that tuition is very expensive, especially with COVID. So I had the privilege to work with this organization to sponsor a student called Maria Jose. And when we were able to even talk to the student during Zoom meetings. We talked about what her aspirations were, what her favorite fruit was, what her culture was like in Guatemala. So that project was very impactful to me. And through selling these bracelets that were sent to us, through advertising on our school news platform, and be able to reach out to your community, we were able to sell over 100 bracelets, which amounted to $1,000. And we were able to give 100% of those proceeds back to Maria Jose to continue her education, be able to complete her education as well. And another project that was also really impactful to me that I think gave me kind of that award was the WAPI project, which is pretty much stands for the water pasteurization indicators. And what they are, and pretty much these homemade devices that are used to indicate when water is clean enough to drink when you boil it. And we made over 200 of these indicators that were then sent to our Rotary district and were later being distributed to villages in Kenya.
Okay.
So we focus a lot in our service club about like international service. So instead of just focusing on Arizona, our service club really focuses on efforts to help those in our international communities.
Well, I hope that our young audience here are inspired by it. I certainly am. Thì trong những cái nỗ lực mà cô làm thì đã có giúp cho mỗi em mà Maria Jose thì qua cái việc mà bán vòng đeo tay thì bán được 100 cái thì nó tương đương với khoảng $1,000 thì gửi tiền về bên em Maria Jose để em có tiếp tục là cái việc đi học của em ở Guatemala, right? And then xong cái nỗ lực thứ nhì đó là mình cũng rất là thích, đó là cô đã giúp tạo ra được những cái device, những cái vật để mà mình thử nước các quý vị, là coi cái độ nước là mình khi mình nấu đó nó đã uống được chưa. Thì những cái này rất là hữu dụng cho những cái đất nước mà vẫn còn đang phát triển, chưa có được phát triển như là được ở nước Mỹ. Thì I like that you are focusing on, you know, out other world parts of the world and just not Arizona. That's very commendable. National AP scholar. I think we've got a few students that also earned that scholarship or that scholar or earned that nomination. But congratulations on that. Young Women Service Awards. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the Young Women's Service Award, it was given to me by the Services International Seguro Foothills, and they really focus on recognizing the service efforts for young women out there with teenagers, and usually in nonprofit organizations.
Okay.
So I was nominated by my nonprofit organization, Wild at Heart, which focus on rehabilitating and rescuing raptors or birds of prey in Arizona, because again, birds of prey, at least in Arizona, have a bad reputation. So they really focus on being able to destigmatize what that reputation is and being able to release them back into the wild once they are rescued. So in that nonprofit organization, I really focus on being able to work myself in a clinic where I focus on bandaging birds that were injured or being able to help with x-rays or even administering fluids like that. So that, even though I was kind of first, before volunteering, I was kind of scared of birds, but I was able to overcome that fear and be able to see that I was really helping these poor animals to recover and be able to be released back into the wild. So because of those efforts, I was nominated by nonprofit organizations for this award, and this award gave $500 scholarships to those who won it, and also $100 to nonprofit organizations that they were nominated from.
Oh wow, okay, that's really wonderful. Tức là cái giải thưởng này là vì cô đã volunteer cho Wild at Heart, một nơi mà giúp cho chúng ta gọi là hồi phục các chú chim mà ở tại địa bàn của chúng ta, được xem là những cái chú chim mà hay đi săn lùng những con chim khác, thì mình có vẻ mình không có ưa thích những con chim này, nhưng mà thật ra thì nó cũng cần được cái sự giúp đỡ, và cô chụp X-ray và giúp băng bó vân vân. So it's a great experience there, I would say. I'm gonna run through some of the things here. So Teen Lifeline, which is a suicide prevention hotline. I personally think this is really important. So tell us a little bit about that.
I came to sign this organization out my junior summer year, and we were actually one of the first training groups. And again, the training group, there's a 52-hour training it has to go through before becoming a certified peer counselor and being able to work on the hotline. So we were in the first groups during COVID, especially, to be able to be trained under those circumstances. And when I became a peer counselor, it was a lot of hard work, but it was very rewarding work too. There was one call that I always remember and will always be with me towards my life. It was a 2-hour-long call, and I was talking to this young girl who couldn't be more than like 12 years old. And she was talking to me about like how much her family was, again, her family was in disarray, that she was suffering from this depression. But then in the middle of the call, I noticed that she was getting a little woozy, to say, getting tired. And when I pressed her on, like, how come you're feeling tired and how come you're feeling kind of drowsy when you're talking to me, she told me that she's overdosed on, I think it was Advil pills. She was going through withdrawal. She was going through, again, an overdose symptoms right there. And as a peer counselor, you're also monitored by a supervisor, so you're not just like by yourself. You're able to refer to another person right there to help you through a call. So when I heard that, I started panicking because this girl could very well pass out or even die during this call. So being able to communicate with my supervisor about what's going on, we were able to send the police to her, and I stayed on the phone with her for another 30 minutes, just communicating with police and also being able to communicate with her and tell her that you're not alone, that even though this is a very serious situation she was in, it was important to tell her that I'm here for you. Even though you're by yourself, you still have someone here that's for you. And luckily she was able to get the emergency attention she needed. And as I was hanging up and she was telling me like, thank you, but again, she wasn't really fully there. All the anxiety was in me. It was still kicking. It was still the adrenaline was coursing through me. But in the end, I felt very happy that she was able to make it out there, and I was able to make a difference in her life.
You absolutely did. Yeah. So Teen Life cũng là một nơi mà Desiree đã dành thời gian, và tại đây thì là cô sẽ cố vấn những người, nhất là teenagers, các em vị thành niên có thể là có cái chiều hướng mà muốn tự tử đó, kính thưa quý vị. Đây là một cái vấn nạn mà thú thật mà mình phải nói là ở trong cộng đồng mình thì rất tiếc là mình gần đây mình cũng đã có biết đến một số trường hợp như thế này. So suicide is real. It does happen, and I've seen it happen to close friends here as recently as within just a month. And during this, you were able to answer 35,000 plus calls and texts. Trả lời em Desiree đã giúp trả lời trên 35.000 cái text quý vị, và đã như là reach out được gần 320,000. That's people that you've reached?
Wow. That's for like the entire organization.
Wow, okay, the entire organization, and then of course, that's still a tremendous effort there, so congratulations on that. And then let's move on to something actually a little bit more fun, knitting.
Yeah.
What's going on with knitting? Tức là đan áo quý vị, cô này cũng đan áo nữa. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I got involved in my knitting club in sophomore year. It was more like I just needed something to do, that I was kind of needed something to just, again, I was stressed out from my English class, from my calculus class in sophomore year, so I was like, I need something just to get my mind off those things. And in knitting club, we knit a bunch of these hats, but I was talking to like one of the officers, they were saying like, oh yeah, we knit these hats in order to donate to babies in the ICU or to food banks.
Yeah.
So I was very inspired by that cause. Like even though they had this like kind of fun, they had this like fun environment, they had snacks there, they're still all contributing to a really good cause. So I was involved in that knitting club for 3 years as their treasurer.
Wow.
And so I pretty much just network with hospitals, food banks, so where to send these hats to. And we were actually able to send these hats to one of my teacher's church groups.
Okay.
And those in that church group, they send these hats to, again, to babies who really need it, babies who need warm clothes. And so we were able to see a bunch of pictures that I put in a slideshow of these, or the babies wearing these like funny hats that we knitted for them and then like enjoying it. So that was a really great thing to see in the end, that we got to see the end results. And it was just a very inspiring moment for all of us, and also a fun moment too, that even though that it was a lot of hard work, I still found a lot of enjoyment in this extracurricular activity.
Wow, tức là trong cái club này thì một trong những cái việc mà em đã có dịp tham gia là gửi nón đi cho những bé sơ sinh mà cần đó quý vị, và cuối cùng thì cũng đã nhận được về những cái tấm hình mà các bé đội nón vân vân, thì nó làm cho trái tim mình nó ấm, cái lòng mình ấm, phải không quý vị? Thì đó là một trong những cái nỗ lực. In this list here, there's about 20 different things that we have to talk about. We probably covered 4 or 5 of them. I do want to briefly read through the rest here so our audience knows there's other accomplishments that we probably won't get to tonight, but we'll try to get to on another night. So the Barry Goldwater High School IB internship, you did mention that. Interactive 5945 assistant governor with responsibilities including 90 plus areas of AZ Interact Club sponsored by Rotary Club, first ever student-led committee devoted to the service. You supervise progress with 5 Interact clubs and so on. And then there's Interact Club President, which is a title, a position that you also held, where you accumulated 6,000 plus plastic bags to be recycled by treatment facilities. I love recycling program, so kudos to you on that. We did talk about Teen Lifeline, Wild at Heart, Bloom 365 Peer Advocate Crew, NHS Community Service Chair, Science Club, Knitting Club, IB World, 74th Arizona Girls State, Summer Program. There's ASU Cesar Chavez, SAARC Peer Mentor, STEM Without Boundaries, a Director of Diversity and Inclusion. I love that. And then Hispanic Honor Society.
Yeah.
What is that? Yeah, you're not Hispanic?
Yeah, it's pretty much a club that's given to for students who are in higher level Spanish classes.
Okay.
And even though I was a Hispanic, my teacher's like, these can still join. It's pretty much meant for those who are in this higher level Spanish class, and we pretty much were able to learn more about Spanish culture and be able to, again, the Youth Band project that I mentioned before, I led that project in conjunction with the Hispanic Honor Society. So again, I was able to work really closely with my Hispanic Honor Society in order to dedicate those efforts to Hispanic students internationally who are trying to fulfill their education but may not have the resources to do so. So in that Hispanic Honor Society, it's really focused on, again, learning about Hispanic culture, but also being able to learn how to give back to Hispanic communities as well, being able to volunteer our time and be able to help those who need so.
Mm-hmm. And certainly we have a large Hispanic community here, so I'm sure your work was impactful. Do you feel successful? Yes.
Yeah, I do feel successful, but there's obviously more things I want to do in college that I'm very excited for. There's many clubs I want to try out in college. I have a full schedule packed for fall semester for college.
And what are you studying?
I'm double majoring in neuroscience and psychology.
Psychology as well. Okay. I feel like you should be going into politics. I think you're very articulate. You have point of views and so on. Are you going to head out the world of politics anytime soon?
I think I would probably do more advocacy work than becoming an actual politician. I think there's more value in being able to advocate for issues that need to be talked about, and also be able to spread awareness to those who may not know much about politics or may not know how voting registration goes. So being able to kind of increase accessibility to voting at elections is something I really want to do in the future for underprivileged communities or communities that are underrepresented.
Okay. What are some words of advice you'd like to give to our younger audience?
One word of advice is, I definitely would say, make sure that you have time for yourself in order to avoid burnout. Even though there's 10 million things you want to do, those opportunities will still be there. Yes. But again, you in the moment, you need to focus on yourself first and foremost before being able to go upon those opportunities. Because if you're not in the right state of mind or you're not in the right mode of health, then it feels impossible to reach out for those opportunities. So again, being able to have that nice work-life balance really goes a long way to be able to build a very successful career and be able to build really successful habits as well. And one thing I would also say is to not feel shy. I know in freshman year, I was super introverted. Yeah. If you told me in freshman year that I would be on the interview, I would be like, no way, that you're lying. But being able to kind of go out of your comfort zone, being able to reach out to your teachers if you need help, or you can reach out to clubs you're interested in, goes a very long way to be able to build those relationships and be able to kind of go up in rank as well because of those connections you form early on.
Thank you for the extremely sound advice. I second everything that she has said. She said it better than I did. So that's it. It's been such a great pleasure talking to you. I do believe you're going to be so successful in life. We do hope to bring you back, in half a year, to see how you're doing in college. What are some of the additional activities that you participate in, or you like our young audience to also pay attention to as they progress through their, school years, and then get to a place where they're going to be extremely successful individuals, which I think yourself will be. So, any last minute or last things to share with our audience before we leave today?
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited to go on this show, maybe a few more months out on the line and talk about my progress so far about in college. But again, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to talk with you and also talk with our younger audience about how the college application looks like and what type of extracurriculars and academics that I personally experienced in my high school career that I was able to put forward to our audience.
Absolutely, and I guess if you do have any questions at all or you need some guidance, I am more than certain that Desiree is happy to help. We will be happy to facilitate, to connect you to Desiree and then go from there. So once again, thank you so much for your time today. I'm Tiffany Nguyen from VietNEWS TV and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Xe cộ là một phương tiện không thể thiếu cho mỗi người trong chúng ta. Tuy nhiên, khi gặp phải trở ngại vì xe hư dọc đường, còn người kéo xe cũng như sửa xe thì phải làm sao? Đừng lo, hãy gọi ngay Eric Auto Repair với số điện thoại 623 792 0896 623 792 0896 để được giúp đỡ nhiệt tình. Eric Auto Repair chuyên kiểm tra và sửa máy xe, chẩn đoán hệ thống đường truyền điện, máy nóng và AC, sửa và thay timing belt, hệ thống bơm nước, hệ thống điện, hệ thống phun nhiên liệu, thay máy, thay hộp số, thắng xe, bảo trì xe, hệ thống làm mát máy xe, sửa chữa hệ thống khói xe để check smoke, hệ thống làm mát máy, bàn đạp, ghiền sửa, thay máy và các hộp số các loại xe, sửa chữa body xe. Ngoài ra, chúng tôi còn có dịch vụ kéo xe miễn phí nếu quý vị sửa xe tại tiệm. Hãy gọi ngay 623 792 0896 623 792 0896. Eric Auto Repair tọa lạc tại 2117 West Camelback Road, Phoenix, Arizona 85015. Eric Auto Repair mở cửa từ thứ Hai đến thứ Bảy từ 8 giờ sáng đến 5 giờ chiều. Chuyên nghiệp, tận tâm, uy tín, giá cả phải chăng. Bạn cần có cho mình một chiếc bánh cưới, bánh đính hôn, bánh sinh nhật hay chỉ là một chiếc bánh kem ngon miệng cho bữa cơm tối gia đình? Hãy đến Ngày với Bamboo Bakery, tiệm bánh cưới Việt Nam đầu tiên và duy nhất tại Arizona. Được vote best từ năm 2007 cho tới nay, với hơn 250 loại bánh kem dành cho mọi nhà như bánh kem sầu riêng hoàng đế, nữ hoàng pink champagne, mềm mại thơm ngon với bánh dừa kem Pháp hay ngọt ngào đê mê với mocha. Hãy gọi ngay 602 246 8061 để có cho mình và gia đình một chiếc bánh kem tuyệt đẹp và ngon tuyệt vời. Cảm ơn quý khán giả đã theo dõi chương trình song ngữ Cuộc sống quanh ta với Tiffany Mộng Tuyền và khách mời. Chương trình phát hình vào mỗi tối thứ Hai hàng tuần trong khung giờ quen thuộc là 7 giờ PM giờ Arizona trên channel VietNEWS USA. Mọi đóng góp ý kiến cũng như tham gia chương trình, vui lòng liên lạc với chúng tôi qua số điện thoại 602 481 2647 hoặc theo địa chỉ email info.vietnewsusa@gmail.com. Chân thành cảm ơn. Chúc quý khán giả có một ngày thật là vui bên gia đình và người thân. Hẹn gặp lại quý khán giả trong chương trình tới. Và đừng quên bấm nút like, nút chuông để luôn theo dõi cũng như chia sẻ các chương trình của VietNews đến với mọi người. Have a wonderful day and see you soon.